Leon Crest and Phoenix Rudder are the next two UX Beyblades set to release in August. Both Leon and Phoenix are fan-favorite Beyblades motifs in beybladex, and both changed their typing, as Leon Claw was a balance type and Phoenix Wing and Feather are attack types. In this video I will be giving my final thoughts and predictions about these two Beyblades and their uses in competitive and casual Beyblade battles. Starting with the booster UX06, Leon Crest is a defense-type UX Beyblade with the main gimmick of massive wall. Using the 760 ratchet and the thick Leon Crest blade, it creates a massive wall used to tank its opponent's hits. Defense types have not been good in Beyblade X, as most of them have been lightweight and lack burst resistance. Leon Crest could suffer from the same problem, as if the blade is not heavy, it will be outclassed by heavy attack types like Cobalt Dragoon and Phoenix Wing. Looking at the blade, we see that the top is metal contact while the bottom is a big plastic chunk. Originally I thought the whole blade would be metal, but it seems like the metallic plastic fooled me. This has me worried, as it doesn't look like it has much metal, and that could severely affect its weight. Best hope it is at least the same weight as Wizard Rod. Another thing to notice is the direction of the main blades. The main blades seem to be facing the opposite way of spin direction, as Leon Crest is a right spinning Beyblades and the blades are facing in the left direction. This can cause some problems, as the opposite facing blades cause recoil when spinning. However, looking deeper, it seems like the blades are very round, so recoil might not be much of a problem. The opposite facing blades can also be helpful in destabilizing opposing bays, provided that Leon Crest itself does not suffer from the recoil. My final predictions for the Leon Crest blade is that it has a lot of potential for countering attack-type Beyblades, however it is very weight-dependent. The 760 ratchet is a new part and it looks very interesting. This ratchet is supposed to support the Leon Crest blade, but I imagine it's a lot more useful than that. 760 looks like a mix of 5 and 9-sided ratchets being round and hard to burst. If this is the case, then 760 would be a top-tier part and would replace 560 and stamina combos. I am very excited for this part, as I'd love to run a Hell's Scythe combo with 760 and ball, and 760 genuinely looks like a good part. The bit for Leon Crest is Gear Needle. Gear Needle is an old bit, so I won't go into too much detail. My final thoughts and predictions about this release is that if 760 is good, then it is a must-have release, and that Leon Crest can also be good if it's heavy. UX07 is a deck set releasing with the UX Beyblade Phoenix Rudder, as well as two BX Beyblades Sphinx Cowl and Wyvern Gale. Looking at the two BX Bays, we has Wyvern Gale 260 Spike. The Wyvern Gale blade is a decent stamina blade to use. Although useless due to Wizard Rod, it's also a random booster prize, and a recolor of a prize Beyblade is welcome. The 260 ratchet, from what I've heard so far, is pretty ass, as the two nubs are very thick and square, making it very easy to burst, and the spike bit is also trash, as the low surface area and low resistance allow the bay to get knocked out and burst. Competitively, this part choice is not great and pretty low value. The next BX Beyblade is Sphinx Cowl 180 Gear Flat. Sphinx Cowl is a mid-blade to use for competitive play, as it only can work on 70 tall combos, and even then it's not great, but it is a cool recolor, and Sphinx Cowl is a random booster select prize, so at least there is value for collectors. The 180 ratchet is not a bad choice, as this ratchet is locked behind a random select. Previously I held the opinion of the one-sided ratchets only being good on Dranbuster, but one-sided ratchets can also be used on other types of combos due to the low chance of bursting. Despite being an 80 ratchet, I still like this choice. The bit is Gear Flat. This is another bit that isn't used much in competition, but can be a fun part to use and can work if you get your launch right. My final thoughts on these two Beyblades is that they could have picked much better parts, considering you have to buy this set to get Phoenix Rudder. Speaking of Phoenix Rudder, let's talk about the blade. The Phoenix Rudder blade is a semi-aggressive stamina blade. It looks to have potential in stamina combos, especially if it's as heavy as Phoenix Wing. To be honest, the blade looks like a UX Wyvern. If we compare the blade to Wizard Rod, I imagine that Phoenix Rudder has less pure stamina but more counterattack. Essentially, Phoenix Rudder can be used as a stamina Beyblade that also has heavy counterattack, which is something Wizard Rod is weak against. My final prediction about the Phoenix Rudder blade is that it will be as good as Wizard Rod and even better if it's heavier. The Ratchet 970 is a new height variation of the 9-sided ratchets. The 9-sided ratchets are one of the best ratchets to use as they're the hardest to burst, and the new 70 height can be useful. Especially since I like to run Wizard Rods with 570 and Hexa, and I can now replace 570 with 970 for less burst risk. The final part is the glide bit, which is a new bit that uses POM material. If you are not familiar with the POM material, essentially it's an amazing material to use for stamina combos as it uses less friction than regular plastic. The only downside is that it can get knocked out if you're not careful. The glide bit also has plastic around the POM material. I imagine this is to cause less chance for KO, as a pure POM bit would be too much. The glide bit also has 16 gears, which is the same as Hexa and Excel. This could be interesting as glide can have some counter movement when engaged with the X line, but it can also be a weakness as glide has low resistance, which can cause the Beyblade to burst easily in the X line. My final thoughts and prediction is that Phoenix Rudder will be a solid stamina blade to use, especially against Wizard Rod. The 970 ratchet is also a solid ratchet, and glide has potential to replace the ball bit. Ranking the whole deck set based on value is a little bit iffy, as the only value here is the Phoenix Rudder Beyblade, as the other two Beyblades and parts chosen are not great for competitive value. It's a lot different than the Dran Dagger deck set, which provided lots of great value at the time of release. That's all I have for the predictions of Leon Crest and Phoenix Rudder. I am excited for the release of these two Beyblades and what they will do to the meta. If you enjoy my content, it would be appreciated to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as it really helps me out. For further support, I have memberships open. I also have a video recommended where I go through all of Hasbro Wave 1 and rank them based on competitive value. My final question is, what do you guys think about the next Beyblade releases, and I will see you all next time.